God brought Abraham into the place that was ordained. It is called the place. I tell your neighbor, there is a place that is called the place. I tell him again, there is a car that is called the car. Tell him again, there is a house that is called the house. I tell him again, there is a marriage that is called the marriage. By faith, Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out to the place which he would receive as an inheritance. So God prepared an inheritance. Then God went to bring Abraham, that this is the inheritance. So Abraham, come now quickly, Pastor George, come here. So God prepared an inheritance. This is the place. This is the inheritance. So when God is calling Abraham, God is not trying to build Abraham. So God comes and picks Abraham because he has prepared an inheritance, and the inheritance is in the place. So God has an inheritance, God has a place, but then God comes to call Abraham, that Abraham might come to the inheritance and to the place that God has already ordained. I tell your neighbor, there is a place. There is a place. There is a place. There is a spot. There is a car. There is a house. There is a place. Now listen. Sit down. So it means, ladies and gentlemen, that God is not planning to build. That God is not planning to prepare an inheritance. That God is not looking for a place. That God knows the place. That God has the inheritance. God is not trying to answer a prayer concerning a car that you want to have. God is not trying to answer a prayer concerning a marriage that you are praying about. God is not trying to answer the prayer of a land that you are praying about today. God has a place. God has an inheritance. God has land. God has property. God has money. God has a car. So when God comes for you, he comes to take you to the place. In other words, the testimonies of your life were ordained by God even before you were born. So when you walk into 100 million, you think it is a miracle. No, sir. The Lord prepared it, and the Lord came for you that the Lord may take you there. When you walk into 1 billion, you think it's a testimony. The Lord saw it even before you were born, and the Lord came and called you, and the Lord took you there. By faith, God came for Abraham to take him to a place that he was supposed to inherit. There is a car, there is a house, there is a building, there is money, there is a marriage, there is a breakthrough that God prepared. The reason he called you is because there is a breakthrough. The reason he called you, there is this money. The reason he called you, there is this assignment. The reason he called you, there is this thing he has prepared. Clap your hands and shout, there is this thing